Alright, everyone, all the way with episode 22. That's gone fast, hasn't it?
Mega.
Fucking hell, fire. Of Anfield Meets. Anfield Meets. Anfield Meets. Fuck, I don't even know the fucking bevy yet. Start again. Fucking Anfield fucking Meets.
Anfield Meets. It's a new thing, guys. For the new season.
Don't look so. I'm trying my new ear in there today, first time.
I saw it. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I'm deaf as a fucking post in bed anyway.
Is it just on the one or both?
Well,
I'm so glad I actually noticed you tried to be funny. Bang.
Hi everyone. Welcome to episode 22 of Aldo Meets in conjunction with the Hotel Anfield. Again, I'm with Peter, James and Dino. Dean Saunders has come to join us today. Absolutely delighted to see you, pal. Well, tell us how things have gone, what you're up to, and did you enjoy Liverpool last season, win the league, obviously, and what you were doing, tell me where you are, and you're glad to be around Liverpool again, mate.
Yeah, well, obviously I played and then I managed for 16 years and then I'm on TalkSport now, so I'm enjoying that, and I do a few after dinner speeches and bits and bobs. I play golf as much as I can.
Oh, I know that, yeah. I know.
And
have you got the paddle tennis yet?
Not yet, I'm not into that.
No, you will do. Anyway.
I know, they're all into that. Yeah. Apparently, it's an Achilles waiting to happen.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Stretching your Achilles. But anyway.
What's your handicap?
9.
Oh, that's not bad, is it?
Yeah. So, I haven't played since yesterday.
I played with you, you were about 14.
No.
You must have been 14.
No.
When you played off 14, then
how
you
long
cheated.
Ago was that when I was at Oxford? No, so, Liverpool, I mean, I didn't expect, when Slot come in, I didn't expect there to be such a smooth season. I thought, because you've managed and I've managed, and you do things your own way. And like, I wouldn't say you've got ADHD, but you're not far off it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we're all on that sort of edge of,
I totally agree.
This is how I do things. This is how I want it done. I feel comfortable in coming in the morning doing that. So Arnie Slot, to go into that dressing room and think, I'm not going to change anything, was the hardest thing. Like, I admire him for not actually, he probably tweaked a few little things, but for actually not changing everything, and he's probably been that clever that he's spoke to Salah and said, how do you think things are going? What do you think we should do in training? What do you like? What you don't like? Then he's gone to Van Dijk. What do you think? He's sort of like learning off them the way things should be done, and they all like him by the look of it. That's the best bit.
From management, you've got to keep them happy. You've got to keep them sweet. You know, you've got to have the right buoyancy in the dressing room. You know, it all goes a long way. But you're spot on. We've said that, last 6 months or whatever, for him to come in and do it with another man's tools. And what you're saying is right. He's probably preempted the players early on the season to see whatever, anything. So if I can get through and have a good season here, I can put my stamp on it next year, which is what we're sort of seeing at this moment in time with who he's bought. But for what he did, it's pretty amazing, wasn't it?
Well, don't get me wrong. He's walked into a Rolls Royce. We've walked into a couple of Ford Escorts with a bit of rust on it. And normally when you get a job, there's a lot wrong. You get the job because very rarely do you get a job where everything's running smooth. Mm-hmm. And if you lose the players, and by the way, it takes 5 minutes. If you stand in front of a group of players and you say something ridiculous, it takes them 5 minutes to work out, because they've all had good managers. They've not just had Jurgen Klopp. They've had top managers. They know how things are done. And if you say something stupid within 5 minutes, or you do something in training, which they're all looking around at each other going, this bloke's not got a clue. Yeah. But winning helps. If you keep winning, the ones you keep leaving out on the bench or not even getting on the bench, they haven't got a voice. The minute you start losing, that voice gets louder and louder. And before you know it, you've got more unhappy players than you have happy players. But they kept winning right at the start, which that helped him. He must have been like that, thinking, we just got to keep winning. And I'll gradually. And I'm pleased that Salah signed and Van Dijk. I'm pleased that, that was a big, obviously they lost Trent. which is a blow. If I was Salah, I'd be gutted. If I was Salah.
Because he's not going behind him.
Well, he's got the disguised. Trent's disguised passing is the best in the world. He doesn't even look sometimes. Salah just knows. You know, you think about it. Every left back Salah plays against, they know what he does.
Yeah.
They know what he's good at. They can't stop him. Somehow he gets in behind him. Because Trent, without looking, he'll just flip one over the top, or Salah will go short and spin. And Salah's prepared to run without the ball, isn't he? Which, as you know, as a manager, wingers who are prepared to run that way without the ball,
run behind,
you can't find them and score.
Yeah.
So I think they'll miss. I know Frimpong's a good signing, and hopefully he'll never be as good on the ball as Trent, but he's a good athlete.
He gives you a little bit of a different alternative, but yeah, for the passing, there's no other fullback can pass like Trent and a disguised pass or whatever pass. So it's taking away one thing, and maybe he can defend a little bit better than Trent. So you know, is he pacier than Trent? I don't know, because he's quite quick, Trent.
Yeah,
but he's a different type of player. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah, 29 million for Frimpong seems like a decent deal in the modern.
Yeah, on paper it looks very good. Yeah.
The only thing I'd say there is, like, Liverpool are trying to win everything they enter. So they're trying to win the league, they're trying to win the FA Cup, they're trying to win the Champions League. One player can cost you all of it. So when they get Andy, for me,
do you mean an injury to one player?
Yeah, or like it's a weak link. You know, you can't have a weak link in the back four. You know, the goalkeeper maybe. I'm not saying Liverpool's, but if you've got a weak link in your back five, the top teams. Like Vinicius Junior got inside Trent in the Champions League final, remember, and scored.
Yeah.
So if you've got a weak link anywhere, so if you sign in players, like, how do you sign someone better than Trent? It's hard, isn't it? Andy Robertson, for me, he's 31. I'd give him another contract straight away. Yeah. You're not going to find anybody better than him.
As long as he's prepared to maybe not have as much game time, and it'll take a lot of stress away from him and his body. I mean, he's not old by any means, and he's beloved by all the fans. I agree with that. I'm looking, you know, the two, like Šmikas has done well. You probably get more money for him, and I think in the dressing room in particular, and I met Šmikas, he's a really nice lad. But Robbo in the dressing room is important, really important. Not just on the pitch. But he's a leader in the dressing room, like Milner went, and then you've got to have a good dressing room. We know from management, you have to know people, you know, goes in and makes people laugh as well. It goes a long way. And Robbo's, you know, he's got to, well, in my opinion, he's imperative to have in there. And if he gets another season or whatever, unless he wants to change.
Yeah.
But you know what, like last season, John, I was like watching the games and I was thinking, like, he's getting a bit of stick here. Andy Robertson. People starting like giving him a bit of stick, saying, you know, might need a new left back, might need a lift. And then look, they only lost 2 games.
I know.
So when they won the league, Liverpool, they'd lost 2 games when they actually officially won the league. They ended up losing 4, didn't they? But up to that point, they've lost 2 games. And I thought, well, he can't be doing that much wrong. No. They've only lost 2 games.
There's a few games where, obviously, and he didn't have a real break last year. And not, but whether that was the case or not, he played, you know, through Scotland and that there, and anything to recuperate type of thing. And there were a couple of games. Fulham was one, and there was a couple of others where, you know, obviously he had one. Arsenal was another one. He had one. We all have them. We've all had them, haven't we? But like when you're doing so well, and the expectation at that time are like that, straight away, and it's natural. People jump all over it. It's unfortunate, but you know, we're all wise and we know we see the bigger picture, don't we? I totally agree. I think you know, give him another year, 2 years.
Mind you, that's why we're not managing anymore. So no, but they've got a good team now, and they've just strengthened, haven't they?
Well, again, I think we've got to talk about that. You know, the likes of Verts, who I've not seen an awful lot of, but what I've seen, you can't help but look at him and say, what a player, what a great...
Well, we spoke to Didier Mann the other day on Aldo Meets as well, and Tony, the Sky Sports Germany
Yeah.
commentator, and he talked about the fact that the Germans rate Wirtz higher than Musiala, the biggest export of Germany in recent times. And the one thing that they say that Wirtz has got is not just his ability, but unlike Musiala, he's got a wider vision for the people around him. And secondly, he's a kid from the street, so he's a bit more gritty.
Yeah.
And he can deal with challenges a bit more mentally and as well as physically, apparently. So again,
I agree with that, because
and I think that's what we need, right?
That's where we came from, and you can see that in certain players even now. I know the world's got a lot easier than it was in the 50s and the 60s and even the 40s, whatever. But you've got to have that little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
And I think you see some of the South Americans that we've had. You see, we've had it all done up, and life's not easy for some people. And you see it in players.
You see it, I agree.
And I think from what I see in Wirtz, I wouldn't say he's a nasty little bugger, but you take no shit.
He's got an edge to him.
You take no shit.
Yeah.
For me,
we all like to see that, don't we?
He's like a cross between Jack Grealish, Maddison, but he's also got what you're on about, which is, and what you were talking about. You don't have your own way all the time, and the higher up you go, you start coming into contact with players who are better than you, and you start coming into defences that are better than you, and that's where you got to use your aggression and dig in. It's not all like fancy football, like I'm a number 10, I don't have to run back, I don't have to tackle. I think he can do a bit of everything, and he scores goals and makes goals. I think he's a superstar.
He is. I mean, and Germany, I know Germany recently got maybe a bit of stick overall for where the German football is. And yes, we lost to England in the under-21, although the Liverpool lads made massive contributions to that. So I've got one crying and one laughing eye about that. But I think German football overall will always be German football. And for him to be hailed as the best export in arguably a decade is great for Liverpool to see.
It's great for you, because we've got another German part.
I know.
Liverpool.
I have to say,
I'm surprised you haven't
Jurgen
appealed.
went. He hasn't stopped crying since Jurgen went. You know what I mean? And he's left all alone. He's the only German left around the place now, and you got Mr. Wirtz.
I mean, that for me, very personally, that is true. The German face of Liverpool, not only obviously we got us back on the perch, and people love Jurgen for all the right reasons, but for me, very personally, it was lovely to have lots of Germans around, and they, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it was never particularly on vogue being German. And then Jurgen changed our reputation.
Yeah, but all of a sudden now, we come to the games now, obviously every game or whatever, and Liverpool was very well liked in Germany, but Borussia Mönchengladbach and Dortmund in particular. But all of a sudden, we've got a really massive fan base in Germany because of the Klopp era. People, like Jurgen, and got to, we want to see Liverpool do well. We get loads of Germans at the game now, and
I think you should appeal to that result yesterday. Germany should appeal.
Why?
England playing overage players. It's the under-21s. Harvey Elliott's 23.
Yeah, I mean,
but
there must be a rule
22
about
years,
that.
22.
But you've got someone who's nearly 24. Striker, the big striker.
So I should.
how does that work then?
Yeah.
How does that work then?
I don't know. There must be
Are you
something.
allowed two overage players? or something?
England have got 7. Only you're Irish and I'm Welsh. I'd appeal.
I think James knows the actual answer.
The cut-off point is how old you are at the start of when the season starts. So I think you've got to be 21 or under at the start of the previous season, essentially.
Harvey Elliott's 23.
I think he's 22.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm sure he's 22.
23 next month.
I'll have a little look. I'll have a little look.
We'll have to come back to that. What about Kirkes then? Because he's the other, 3 main ones obviously so far: Frimpong, Wirtz, Kirkes. Premier League proven, 2 years at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Well, is he better than Andy Robertson? No.
He can learn off him.
That's
what I'm coming back to what I said before.
Succession planning. So hopefully a year working with Robbo, maybe 2 years with Robbo.
That's what I would. That's only my opinion of how we saw it before. But Schmeichels, younger, you know what I mean. He might want to play or whatever, but I think that's spot on what you're just saying, to learn off him.
When John was playing, he's a bit more vivid. But when I played, I started when I was at Liverpool. I started to understand how they do things, and how what they do. They'd sign a couple of marquee signings every year, no matter how well you done, because your biggest fear when just say when you were playing, they sign a centre forward for 5 million. You go, who's he coming to replace?
Yeah.
And you go like, it's not me, is it? And everybody's thinking it's me. Like,
Keeps
so they'd sign 2 players. They wouldn't say anything. Ronnie Moran, Roy Evans. They'd be like,
yeah, just get on with it.
and then they'd sign the best young players out of the Championship, 1 or 2 of them, wouldn't they? And they'd put them in the reserves, or they'd put them understudies, and you'd have to learn, train every day, get up to speed, realise how Liverpool play, 1 and 2 touch, pass forward, run forward, pass forward. That was it, wasn't it, John?
Yeah.
Run forward, pass forward, 2 touch.
Yeah.
Don't dribble with it unless you have to.
Yeah.
And if you dribbled with it when you didn't need to, you were the dribbling fool.
Oh.
They used to call Craig Johnson the dribbling fool, didn't they? And he was a great player. But if you run with the ball, Ronnie Moran used to hammer me every time I run with the ball.
Yeah.
But they would bring players in that would be ready to go in. So Kirkes is not as good as Andy at the minute. Andy's 31. He's not 33. He's 31.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do with Shimikas.
Well, I think one of them have got to go, whether Andy or Shimikas has to go. It's as easy as that. I'd keep Andy because what I said before, what he gives the dressing room is experience is invaluable.
Yeah, I agree.
And to be fair to Shimikas, he needs more games. It's if Andy's prepared to do that and the club are prepared to do that. I just think it's a no-brainer. And then what you said on top of that, the dressing room stuff. So I think what's this? But Kirkes, I do like him. His temperament's good. He's fit, gets up and down.
He's got a bit of an edge to him as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Not shy of a tackle.
If you turn the clock back a couple of years when Liverpool had a load of injuries pre-season, centre halves got injured, didn't they? Mm-hmm. And they started the season off with Van Dijk. Van Dijk was playing with Konsa. He got injured. Then he played with Gomez. Then he played with Nat Phillips. Crystal Palace at home. Remember when Zaha scored 2? Remember, got come short and spun and done him. And I thought, right, so Nat Phillips has cost you the game. Konsa's too young. Gomez is young, and he ended up playing with him. Then he played with Canate, who got back fit. And Van Dijk was getting a bit of stick, saying, but he was playing with a different player every week. Mm-hmm. So if I was Arnie Slot, I'd look at the squad and I'd think, who can I put in that's not going to cost me the game in the back 4? We need to have players that I can put in for 2 games and they're not going to cost us 6 points. So that's where I'd be looking at Kirkes and Shimikas and Quansah. I wouldn't sell Quansah, would you?
It's gone now, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't have sold him.
Obviously, there's a logic reason about it, and we'll probably find out in a
financial fair play, maybe.
I think if you get more than 30 million,
you're going to get someone else out. There's a lad from Palace who I think's very, very good. He's
a
really good
player.
age. But I'm pretty sure something's on the card there. Kanate's only got a year left in his contract, which again, this is the same scenario as what Trent will do. Will he give another contract? Will he let it go? And then maybe bring the Crystal Palace in on a free for the lad. I don't know. I'd love to know the business mind and the way of thinking of sometimes with the dealings of some, because some of it doesn't make, like Trent didn't make sense letting it go the way it went and letting him. And I don't like going talking about old news, but the way that ended up. Going on, more or less went on a free, got 10 million, which he did well to get that back.
Just don't forget, John, it's not always solely in the club's hands, right?
No,
at the end of the day, a contract has 2 parties. Yeah. And Trent...
But you've got to play the game. You've got to be ahead of the game.
True, but the people that are in charge now were not in charge at the time when the Trent contract should have been dealt with. They like Richard.
You've got to learn by that. It's a good job.
He came in with a situation where he knew he can save 2 and 1 is a question mark. I think if Richard had been with us a year before, and Mike hadn't left, maybe the world would have looked a bit different. And let's face it, by Trent's Spanish skills, it's definitely been more than a year.
He knew it months before. He's been learning it all year.
Sorry, Tim.
Well, no, I was going to say, I can say this because you probably can't, but I can say this. I'd rather just tell you the truth, what I'm thinking. So I manage 6 teams. in my top drawer was the contracts. Then the contracts were there, right? If you let a player's contract run down to 1 year, he can see the finishing post. And the agent will go, don't worry.
Sign.
So I'll give a scenario. Say Trent's on 100 grand a week 2 years ago. And the club call him in and say, we'll give you 150. I'm being hypothetical here, we'll give you 150. So Trent's thinking, if we don't agree this contract by the end of the week, I've lost 50 grand. It's 50 grand a week I'm losing. That's 200 a month. That's 3 million a year I'm going to lose. I got 2 years left. If I don't sign the contract, it's going to cost me 6 million over 2 years. Or the other club who's going to buy me that's telling me not to sign the contract will say, we'll give you that 6 million back, don't worry, and we'll double your wages. So the agent is now talking behind everyone's back. If the club doesn't get Trent signed with 2 years to go, he's in the driving seat because he's thinking his dilemma is, what if I break my leg?
That's the thing.
Tomorrow, I get nothing. I won't get any wages. So he's thinking, can I go 2 years without playing properly, without pulling out
That's
tackles?
the way it works, yeah.
And so he'll be tempted to sign the contract. If you get him in and offer him enough money with 2 years left, he would have signed it. So somebody at the club has messed up big time, and they've messed up with Canati. Somebody at the club. But
I agree with that. And, and I don't know, but, but we've got to learn by the mistakes, Trent, because Canati, can you let him go on a free next year, can we? I don't know, but if mistakes were made, you've got to learn by the mistakes and attain and do it ASAP, or come up with plan B, and then is to sell it.
But Jens, in your active career, it was your job to make defenders look bad. So the one role that I want to talk about, that we have to talk about, where we actually still need to do a little bit of work for next season, is your position, right? It's the striker position. So Nunes looks like he's leaving, I guess.
Jota's in the equation. Where'd you stand on that?
Yeah, tell us what your view is on the future of the forward lineup of Liverpool.
Well, things have changed, haven't they? Because, if I asked you now, who's England centre forward? Who's Wales centre forward? Who's Ireland centre forward? Who's Scotland centre forward? It's difficult to come up with 4 names. You'd struggle. You'd go Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Wales. Go on.
Yeah.
Right. Ireland. Scotland. Right. So it's been coached out of them because teams have played 4-3-3. We were taught. I part of my learning was, I'm not just saying it because he's here. I used to watch John. Somehow he used to get himself on his own in the box. He used to find himself in space. I used to watch him. How is he on his own again? Keeper saves like someone shoots from a bad angle. It's the keeper's elbows, comes out to John. He's on the penalty spot on his own. Side foot's it in the bottom corner. He's on his own again. Corners, somebody flick one on near post. He's on his own again. I used to watch him. And it's an art. And we were taught I was taught how to poach 20 goals a season. And he was. We were taught, we obviously had instinct in us, which we can anticipate where the ball's going next. But I was taught by my youth team coach, for example, was Les Chappell, he played for Reading and he played for Doncaster. And he said, all the goals are at near post for you. You're 5'9", all the goals are near the post. So you've got to pull the defenders out of there and then get in there. So I watched Bob Latchford at Swansea, who was a great striker. And Toshak told me to watch him. And we were taught how to poach goals. It didn't really matter what we'd done outside the box. Occasionally the manager would say, your job is to score 20 goals a season. Yeah. When we need you and we hit the ball deep and we need, get hold of it for us so we can play in their half. Yeah. Don't keep giving it away, trying stupid things. And then when we lose the ball, work your socks off to get it back straight away.
Get the fullbacks.
That was it.
Stop the fullbacks.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? That's what we said.
That was it.
But you know what? You're spot on. I don't know whether Tosh said this to you, but Lennart Shears, when it was in the early days, and Jimmy Goodfella, what you're saying is spot on. And they called it, I might have mentioned it in the podcast in the last couple of years, the Pomo position of maximum opportunity. I was told that. And it was in me before I went there. And it's what Dino was saying is obviously space. Follow him to keep, follow him to keep it. Take people in where they don't want to go, move them out, get the space. Whatever the space is, go where the space is. And that's the position. Pomo. Remember that Pomo? And that's what it's very simplistic, but, you know, that was what old-fashioned way of poaching goals.
I used to follow in every single shot in training, right? And I got that good at it.
Yeah.
For example, Peter Shilton was our goalkeeper.
But you're putting the goalie's head as well, aren't you? When you follow in, you're putting a seed of doubt in his mind.
On his fingertips.
People don't do it now.
So I used to think to myself, just to give you an insight, and I'll speak on behalf of John, he'll agree with everything I'm going to say. I knew I was going to score 18 goals before the season kicked off. And I'll explain, you'll think you can do it in a minute. So I followed in every shot in training, right? Arthur Cox didn't let me shoot.
Another great name, by the way.
Great manager, managed Newcastle. He wouldn't let me shoot. I had to stand on the penalty spot and get the rebounds, right? Bored, following in. 200 shots, I'd get 2. Come back off the post, off the bar. I worked out that Peter Shilton, to his right, everything stuck. Yeah. Saved everything to his right. Down in the bottom corner. To his left, he'd sometimes spill it, or he wouldn't get to it. So anytime someone shot to his left in training, I used to follow in. Anyway, over a season, I got 6 rebounds a game, a season. So I'd hit the post, off the keeper, I get 6 rebounds. I played for 20 years. That's 120 goals. Rebounds, not had a shot, just following in. Then I used to gamble on flick-ons from the goalkeeper's goal kicks. So if I was playing with John would jump with the centre half, I'd gamble.
You just gamble, yeah.
I got 6 a season. Gambling on flick-ons. Both centre halves would hit each other. He'd flick one on, I'm in. And I'd have to gamble 5,000 times. And I'd get 6. And then I used to stand on the goalkeeper for corners. Yeah. Arthur Cox said to me, who's the nearest man to the ball when the ball goes in the net, normally? I went to the goalkeeper. He goes, yeah, stand next to him and the ball will come to you. Yeah. So I used to stand near the keeper and somebody'd flick it or head it from the penalty spot and I'd go, and I got 6 of them. There's 18. I haven't had a shot yet.
You've scored 40 goals already in the season.
So imagine, I said to my son when he was little, are you prepared for the next 20 years to follow in every single shot for 120 goals? He went, yeah. I went, well, that's what I done. I got 120 goals from rebounds, tap-ins. Right. But I got up in the morning and a goal meant the world to me. I don't think, for example, Marcus Rashford, I don't think a goal counts the same as it did for me and John.
Oh, no, we thrived off it. Yeah.
You're happy for a week if you score.
I'll tell you what.
And it's your thoughts.
But again, you know, it's in them days, and it should be now, if you're not scoring, you're not doing your job, you're not earning your wages. That's the way I seen it, you know. And Len, I said that on the show many times before. Len knew how much I wanted to play for Liverpool, and I was at Newport County in the 4th division. Old man got promotion in the 3rd. John, you want to play for Liverpool? I said, of course I do. Yeah, you know. I said, well, I'll tell you now, and you're capable of doing it. 1 goal every 2 games. 1 goal every 2 games, and you won't be far from that if you keep on doing that every season. I thought, wow, that'll do me. I remember playing Bournemouth at home, and we got the first one after a few minutes, 1-0, and going, oh, I'm all right for 2 games here. and then after 20 minutes, got the second, going, oh, I've got 3 games in lieu. I've got nothing in the first half. I thought, well, that's the pressure off the next 6 games, by the way.
You know, the question he asked us. So going up to modern times, which is different, right? So we got 3 mics: Salah, Jota, Diaz. The difference is now these 2 score the goals, and your job is slightly different. As this man was Firmino or Jota or Nunez. So they haven't, because Salah gets 35, 40 goals a season, and he's getting 20 odd a season. Your role is slightly different, where they're coming inside the fullbacks, where we used to play with a partner. Didn't we? 4-4-2 or whatever. And the wingers get away with scoring 5, 6 a season. Salah gets 40. So your job is to pull centre-backs out of position and pull defence so he can get in and he can get in. So it's slightly different now, the way football's changed, and I understand that.
Do you believe that, assuming Nunes is going, that they are going to replace him? And if so, who with? Or would you say, your theory just then that actually if Jota finds his mojo again, Diaz stays, Gakpo is on fire.
Wirtz.
I mean, Wirtz, Harvey
Wirtz can play
Elliott.
that.
I mean, we just have the player of the tournament in the under 21, all slightly different positions, but all attacking, all capable
He's
of scoring
24,
goals.
by the way.
Do we need to invest in a proper number 9?
Yeah, I'm sure you.
So who is on your list apart from Isak?
I don't know what you think of Nunez, but I think we all think roughly the same. I can't believe there's a player in there, and he's about to turn it on. Right, he's done it. His first season at Benfica, he struggled. Then he scored a load of goals. Then he come to Liverpool. And by the way, 2 seasons ago, I think he was involved in 31 goals. He hasn't had a disaster, and Liverpool have won things. Obviously, he manages to miss chances that you can't believe because he's got the tools to do every finish. I've seen him go round the keeper. I've seen him score great headers, great shots. He's got the tools.
The goal against Brentford when he chipped the goalkeeper.
He chipped the keeper.
We'd gone round him. He's dinked him, innit?
Yeah.
You know?
So, the strikers that are up, Osimhen and the ones that are available.
It's Galatasaray, yeah.
And they're all there's about 5 or 6 of them on the market. If I was Arsenal, I wouldn't hesitate to sign Nunez. They're all a gamble. At least he works his socks off. You know what you're going to get from him. He tries, and even if he doesn't score, he has a go. He's not like a passenger.
He's also got obviously the expense of playing in the Premiership, which is the hardest one to play in. That's interesting.
If you paid 50 million for him, which is half price, what? If you're gonna pay 90 million for him, I wouldn't. But if you're gonna pay 50 million for some of these other strikers you're talking about who've never been here, played in this league, would you be surprised if he scored 20 goals for Arsenal next season if he signed for him? I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. No.
He's got it in him.
He's got it in him.
But it's whether he can do it. And obviously, playing for Liverpool, he hasn't produced.
And I mean, I must say, we met him at a signing not long ago, and he still doesn't speak the language properly. And I must say, he's here for 3
years.
3 years. You must learn the language.
That's absolutely.
It's a communication thing. I mean, you are the players. I'm garbage.
What if he's dyslexic?
And paddle tennis, as it happens. But
what if he's dyslexic?
Yeah, I don't know. You can still
we don't
learn
know,
the
do
language, no?
We don't know.
Dean, I love how you try to defend the defenseless.
When you went to Galatasaray, did you speak Turkish?
Evet.
Who is she?
I thought you were going to say the name of the lager there. What's the lager over there?
Good Good morning.
Ethis.
Do you know when you play in a different country, what you have to learn quickly is, you've done it, you went to Real Sociedad. What you have to learn quickly is simple shouts on the pitch that don't come out of your mouth. Like, leave it.
Yeah.
Man
you go over.
Yeah.
Man on. Little things like that.
And do you know what the first thing I was, whenever you missed a chance or they'd missed a chance, the lads are there, so great lads, they missed a chance, they'd go, Dios, and I'm going, we go, fuck, or whatever, fucking hell, whatever. I'm thinking, what's a swear word, isn't it? What's Dios?
Is that going out on a podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Right, it is.
You can allowed to swear on a podcast?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
Not what he usually says to me, but everything else is fine.
But Dios means God.
Oh,
it's just God.
God, for God's sake.
And then obviously, when we swear, equal the poop there is your mum's a whore. That's
You can't say that.
No, but that's
Surely, what kind of a podcast?
That's what. That's the swear words. We go, fuck, oh, bastard, all these things come out, but it's just simplistic, and I couldn't get it, So I used to make up my own English Scouse swear words. Like shit face, caraculo, which is just, and the lads the lads got onto it. They loved this stupidness of making daft things up. You know what I mean?
Just in a final attempt.
The first thing you learned in Turkey was the swear words, don't you?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
In a final attempt to extract a name from you of who you would like to see as replacement of Nunes before we go into the break, anyone in mind that you like the look of to complete us?
Well, Isak can't happen, can it?
I think a step up from Nunez would be, if you had to say who can guaranteed do a better job than him, it would be Harry Kane or Lewandowski for a year. I can't, otherwise it's a gamble.
How much is Lewandowski now?
For a year, who scored the most goals next season? Lewandowski or Nunez? Harry Kane or Nunez?
In Liverpool.
For a year?
I'm a big fan of Lewandowski. Always have been.
Only 'cause
one of
he's
the
getting
most
on a bit.
complete strikers, but he's getting on a bit.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's food for thought for the year.
Who's going to score more?
The only thing is that it's the owners don't sort of work like that. But I get that. It's a really good.
Everyone's a gamble.
Yep.
We were, weren't we, when they signed us?
My missus says I'm still a fucking gambler. And that's the end of part one of the Aldo podcast. I'm fucking podcast. I don't know what I'm saying.
He's only had a coffee. A podcast.
What was in there?
I'll have a mouth.
No problem.
That's the end of part one in Aldo Meets. We'll be back shortly.
Dean, let's go back to where it all started for you, growing up in Swansea. Your dad was a player, wasn't he? Played for Liverpool, played for Swansea. Was there ever any danger you were going to do anything else for a living? Was it just always the dream to make it as a footballer?
Well, my dad played for Liverpool for 12 years. Played with Billy Liddell and Bob Paisley in that team.
I'm aware of that. I read that. Yeah.
So
was you a Liverpool fan growing up as well?
Yeah. So my dad lived in Salford, and all my dad's mates were the Busby Babes. Because he's from Salford, but he used to catch the bus every day to Anfield for 12 years. And he played for Liverpool, and then he got transferred to Swansea. So, among other things, in the bottom of the wardrobe, my dad had a bin liner with all the cut-ins. Mm-hmm. And they were all like, I've still got them. Cut-ins of like Liverpool. For example, Liverpool played Everton at Goodison in the FA Cup. And there was 77,000 at the game, and the newspaper has got the crowd, a picture of the crowd, with circles on the players' heads. They're on their way to the bus stop with the crowd to go home.
That's what
they used to get. They used to get the bus with the fans, but there was 77, and Billy Liddell scored. It was 5-0. I think Billy Liddell scored 5 in the game, something like that, or he got a hat-trick. And I remember looking at him like Liverpool. So my dad was always Liverpool, and then he got transferred to Swansea when he was 31. Met my mum, and he stayed there for the rest of his life. So he played for Swansea, and then he was coach, and he sort of like guided me. And I was 14. I went to Swansea training. Toshak was the manager, and Toshak took. So it's all a Liverpool. So my dad...
That was the golden era of Swansea, won it at the time.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Went from the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st in consecutive seasons. And he took a lot of Liverpool players and very experienced all players from and mixed in with the Swansea lads. And a genius, wasn't it?
Well, he took over from my dad, Toshak. Harry Griffiths was the manager, and my dad was assistant manager in the 4th division, which is now League 2. Mm. So he come in, Toshak, player manager, and he went 4th, 3rd, 2nd. By the way, along the route, he was sub in some games, and he'd come off the bench and score the winner in the last minute to get promotion. Toshak, header. Chesterfield at home, I can remember it, he scored header. And then they beat Preston in the Championship, got into the Premier League in 4 years, and they were top with 6 games to go. From the League 2, imagine. Never been done. And I was like a young lad all the way through it, and that's where I'll never forget. He come out the players' entrance at the Vetchfield, Tosh, and he had a towel around his neck and a Swansea City tracksuit on. Saturday afternoon playing Ipswich at home. And I was one of the apprentices sat behind the advertising boards. And as he was walking down the touchline to the technical area, he seen me. And he went, "Watch Bob Latchford." And kept walking. So I thought, fucking hell, I better watch him. So I watched Bob Latchford, and he'd done the same move. Ball come up to him. His chest was about this big. Scored loads of goals for Everton and England. Yeah. Ball come up to him, lay off. What he's saying, the Pomo position. He'd wheel around the back of the furthest away centre-back. Get out of his eye line. Last second, as the cross was coming in, he put his arm across his throat, near post. And I used to make that run for the rest of my career. I watched him, and Toshak said to me, "What did you notice?" I went, "He lays it off. He never wheels wide after he's laid it off. He always wheels to the middle of the goal. So wherever he lays it off, he wheels towards the middle of the goal. Never out wide, crossing it for someone else. He's always..." So I learned that. Ruptured my ACL in my left knee. So I was out for like 18 months, 2 years. And then I got released from Swansea when I was 19, free transfer. John Bond gave me a free. I went to Cardiff. Alan Durbin was the manager on loan. He released me. And then I went on trial to Brighton when I never had a club. And I had a bit of luck. Alan Bailey went over on his ankle, first game of the season. I went on and scored. He went over on his ankle again at Barnsley on a Tuesday night. I went on and scored. And then I went goal, 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 goal. I scored 7 in 7. And I got picked to play for Wales. I'd never played for Wales at any level.
Wow.
I was asthmatic and I had a bad knee. So I never played for Wales under 19s, under 21s, anything. Got released twice. And I got a phone call from Mike England, manager of Wales. Picked you for Yugoslavia away. And I went, he said, "Have you got a 10-year passport?" I went, "No. I've only got one of them paper."
Yeah, the 1 year ones.
And he went, "Don't worry, Steve Lowndes has got a 10-year passport. I'll pick him this one. There'll be other games for you." I was devastated. I was like devastated. I've gone like that. And then the next game, Republic of Ireland away, Jack Charlton's first game.
I played. Yeah.
Neville, Rushy scored 1-0.
Yeah, we battered Wales, and we played really, really well.
Just to remind you, it was 1-0 to us.
Yeah, Rushy scored. We got beat 1.
I'm sure he would get to it.
What happened in that game? The pitch was shite. It was honestly it was like a paddy field. It was because the rugby had just been on. It was a rugby pitch, and there was divots everywhere. And I think we might have, it's on this in the previous show. But Neville's gone up for the ball, and I've gone, as you did, to challenge the goalkeeper, and I've gone in, and Nev's come down, and he's broke his ankle. I looked at him.
Dislocated it.
It was like that. He's down to going, "Oh no!" So he was out for the rest of the season. Liverpool went on to win the double, and I think if that wouldn't have happened to him, Liverpool wouldn't have won the double. Because the goalie came in. Neville's the best about at that time. He was the best in the world probably, and that was Jack's very first game.
That was my first game.
Yeah, how was it?
My debut against Republic of Ireland, and I ended up. I got 75 caps, because I turned up most weeks. I turned up. I always thought if I played for Liverpool against Man United on a Sunday, Super Sunday, and Wales played Costa Rica in a friendly, I thought playing for my country was bigger, believe it or not, because there's only 3.5 million Welsh people, and every 3 months the manager hangs 11 shirts up, and if you've got one of them, you're lucky out of the whole country. So say there's 3.5 million people, half of them are women, half are men. There's 1.5 million people available to play for Wales, and I've got one of the shirts. I'm turning up. I'm not going to treat it as, because I'm finished when I'm 35. So I turned up for most of the Wales games. I mean, sometimes the manager puts pressure on you, like Giggsy with Fergie would stop him going. But I then went to Oxford in the Premier League, and then I went to Derby, and then I signed for Liverpool. And
Who did you play up front with Oxford? Charlo wasn't there then, was he?
Well, I followed you, and it was Billy Whitehurst.
Oh, Big Billy. Don't go there. We'll be here all day. Big Billy, what a
I can't even explain to you. Right, well, I'll try, right?
I was only there for, I don't know, about six months with Billy, and honest to God, he was larger than life. The toughest man I've ever. But we could sit here now, and we should do a show about him and because
I'll tell you a classic.
Mark Lawrenson was your manager at Oxford.
Morris Evans, first of all.
Yeah.
Morris was,
so I was signed to replace John.
Yeah.
But Billy, imagine Giant Haystacks, the wrestler, right? Who's the most aggressive man in the world as well. On top of that, and he's playing Premier League football, right? Target man. So Billy was my partner, right? So I could sit here all night, like you said. But I'll tell you a classic. We bought a greyhound between us, and the greyhound was bought to win the television trophy, which was on Sports Night No, Sports Night with Harry Carpenter.
Oh, right.
It's a long distance where the dogs went 2 laps. So it was like the stayers, the dogs that stayed on and could run forever, like marathon for a dog. They were all the best marathon runners, the dog. So we bought this dog for $2,500, which was a lot then. You know.
Who was involved in it? How many players?
So it was me, Tommy Caton, Richard Hill, Billy, Jeremy Charles. Right, so we got a share in the dog. So the dog's going to try and Billy's going, we're going to win the television trophy on the TV, right? So Billy's going up every day with the trainer and he's watching the dog training and he's telling the trainer what to do with the dog. So this dog runs in the semi-final at Oxford, qualified for the final. So it runs in the semi-final, coming round the third bend, pulls its hamstring, squeals. You can hear it squealing, the dog, poor dog. It's called drop the hind leg, but pulled its hamstring. So Billy has had a few pints. He's gone up to the trainer. I told you, you're overtraining the dog. You've caused this. You've cost us. You've cost us everything. He picks him up by his collar and he throws him into all the bookmakers. You know the bookmakers who are stood there with the bags? He throws him into the bookmakers, right? So we're all sitting there going, oh no. So the next morning, we come into training. Premier League, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No cameras there. Mm-hmm. No video. So I've gone, lads, you should have seen Billy last night. Ridiculous. He's chucked the trainer into the bookmakers. One of them went, he's already in. He's in. He's in the treatment room. I went, is he? He goes, yeah. I walked in the treatment room. He's got the dog on the treatment table. And Richard Hill's holding the dog's collar and Billy sat on a chair with the ultrasound on the dog's hamstring. And the physio, Ken Fish comes in and he goes, Billy, what are you doing? It's supposed to be hygienic. You can't bring a dog in it. He went, Ken, this dog's worth more than this lot put together.
Oh, brilliant. Someone should write a book about Billy. Get together because
I could see it all right.
I'm the same and I only know him for less than a year.
You used to go drinking with him, didn't you?
A few times, yeah. Oh,
so July 1991 when you joined Liverpool, obviously they break the English transfer record to get you from Derby, £2.9 million. How did the move come about?
I think Robert Maxwell he owned Oxford and Derby. He's obviously been nicking everybody's pension money. He was skint, wasn't he? So he put myself and Mark Wright up for sale. And it was like an auction, June the 5th, all bids in. And Graeme Souness rang me, who signed me 5 times, by the way. So I owe him a lot. And I know there's mixed reviews on him in Liverpool, but undoubtedly, what a player.
Oh.
Right. And I could see in him, I've been with him a long time and I've been assistant manager to him and he signed me at Benfica, Galatasaray and Liverpool. And I was at Blackburn and Newcastle. And just by being with him he's just an absolute ruthless winner. Like, he don't care what anybody thinks about him. All he cares about is 3 points and food. You've never seen anybody eat like him. Imagine this. I don't know if everybody does this. I don't think people do. So we'd sit down in a restaurant and I'd say, what are you having? He'd go, I'm not sure. What are you having? I said, I'm having sea bass. And I'll have soup for starters. He'd go, waiter'd go, order, sir? And he'd go, yeah, I'll have the soup, prawn cocktail, and I'll have the sardines for starters. And then I'll have the chicken, fillet steak, and the sea bass for main course. He'd go, you're having 3? He'd go, yeah, the disappointment of getting it wrong is beyond me. So I'm not skinned. So I just want to make sure I get the right order. And he'd eat the fucking lot. He'd eat the lot. But
he does well because he kept himself fit, hasn't he?
If Karen, his wife, was at the other side of the room and there was 3 points at stake, he would 2-foot Karen with no remorse if she was injured. And when, honestly, I won't have a bad word said about him really because I've been with him a long time. Right. And what I would say is, and he would agree with this, when he come to Liverpool, he can't bite his lip. it's like in him to like, whatever we play head tennis, he'd ruin that. If we played table tennis and he was losing, he'd chuck the bat and stop the game before it got to finish. If we were playing darts, he'd like chuck I'm not playing anymore. He was like the worst loser ever. And apparently, Phil Neal was worse than Graeme. Kenny Dalglish was worse than Phil Neal. They were like queuing up, bad losers, Liverpool's team. And that's what I've got from it. I got from it like they were all the same. Kenny Dalglish, Phil Neal, Graeme Souness, sort of, the club was like driven by, we're not going to lose at anything. Even apparently Phil Neal used to pick the ball up and walk off the training pitch. We're not playing anymore. Game's over.
Well, they all come back down from Shanks, you know, and they played five-a-side. The old story was, you know, he wouldn't stop until he actually scored. They scored the win of the team. You know, it goes back, you know, all the stories on the Shankly boots. That's a good thing to have that, you know. Look, if you haven't got that in you, the drive to compete and want to be desperate to win, it's not ideal.
Graeme don't care what anybody thinks about him.
Yeah.
All he cares about is winning.
Yeah.
He don't care. Like what he would do, because he can't put a 60-40 tackle in waist high. When this is what he'd say to me. If we were struggling, we won everything. But every week we were really bad for 20 minutes in nearly every game. Everybody thinks we won everything. We were brilliant every week. He said, but some games we ain't turned up. I took it upon myself to change the course of the game. So I would hit someone chest high and cause a 22-man brawl. And I'd get the ref involved, the linesman involved, their bench. He said I'd cause all that, hoping it would change the course of the game. Yeah. So when he was manager, I used to see it coming. We were at Blackburn one day, and he just shouted at one of their players. We're playing rubbish. And he'd shout on, hey, you're a good player, honey. Hey, who do you think you are? Good player, honey. And then their bench would come over and go, don't stop having to go to our team. He'd cause a riot on the bench just to try. He didn't mean it. Just to, because he couldn't tackle anyone. He changed the course of the game. But, I mean, Ronnie Moran. Honestly, Ronnie Moran. He actually made me think. In fact, I went home to my wife one day and I said, Ronnie Moran's don't like me.
That's how I was the same as me. I was exactly the same. He used to pan me all the time, pan me. And the older you get and you see it, he made me a better player. He made me a better player. But he's always on me. I thought it was something I'd done or whatever. I knew he loved Rushy and all that. But like, I used to think, what the fucking hell have I got to do to please him? But like, if he scored goals, he's going, well done. Yeah. Great to have 6 big head. Yeah.
Rushy was his son.
Oh, he loved Rushy big time, massively. Yeah.
How was it for you though to play with Rushy? That must have been.
Well, I played with him for Wales.
That must have been great for him. Obviously, you know, Welsh icon, wasn't it?
Honestly, he'd score now playing out from the back against me and him. We played for Wales together, but playing out from the back now, Ian Rush would score 150 goals a season. It was his like dream. Yeah, like
go on, under pressure at the back. Yeah,
like. Because most of the defenders we played against, the manager, like, there's loads of sayings that have gone out of football that your school teacher used to say to you. Like, he's got a good touch for a big man. It's got to go. You know, he'll give you a chance.
Yeah.
They used to say, that defender will give you a chance. What that means is what they're doing now. He'll have the ball off the keeper and roll it into midfield and get it back and look up there and you'll catch him on the ball. So Rushy, from 10 yards, from a standing start, electric.
Yeah.
The quickest play, he's like Romario, from a standing start. He would walk, and he had that walk, didn't he? He had that walk where all of a sudden he got from a walk to caught you with the ball. There you go. And anything happened out wide, the winger slipped past the fullback, he'd win the race to the 6-yard box because he was that quick and he could finish with both feet. But lightning quick.
To be fair, I've never thought about that, going off the subject a little bit. don't forget the goalies could pick the ball up in our day. So we used to chase across the back four, go back to the goalkeeper, you go, oh bollocks, you know. But nowadays, you go, whoa, wouldn't you? It'd be great, wouldn't it? We just got loads more. Never thought about that.
Well, who's the worst player in a football team?
Goalie.
Yeah. And who's the next worst?
Defenders.
2 centre backs.
Yeah.
So why do you want them on the ball in the 6-yard box?
Yeah.
And you're surprised when they make a mistake. That's why they play there. They play at the back because they're not good enough to play in midfield, and they play in goal because they're not good enough to play at the back.
We called them stoppers, didn't we?
They're good at stopping you. Yeah. They're not good at like having the ball, and if they are, they're like Franz Beckenbauer, Rio Ferdinand. There's only a few centre backs.
Big names.
Van Dijk.
Alan Hansen.
They're good on the ball and they can defend. But
that has changed a little, right? I mean, the modern
just
defenders are better
it's
on
all
the
like
ball.
pathetical, but
they can't defend as well, though.
Yeah, potentially.
Just like midfield players playing at the back.
Yeah.
Now.
You get away
out
with it.
and out defenders who took pride in stopping you scoring. Martin Keown, Tony Adams.
Martin Keown's a good shout, that, because, you know, man was out of the centre halves that played, he was really good, man. He was aggressive bastard, which you know, he had to be in our day. But he also, he could play a little bit as well, but he's quick, seen the danger of what we're talking about. And I also enjoyed the tussle with him when I played against him. But he was a really good centre half. Good shout, that.
I told you a story about Ronnie Moran. Well, I didn't involve Ronnie Moran, but I tell you, Ronnie Moran was the discipline police. Roy Evans was the
good cop.
The good cop, right? Roy used to come around and go, hey, you know you're a good player. You know you're a good player. Don't worry about that. Get out there and show them today. Graeme was like the manager didn't speak to you. Kenny probably didn't speak to you. Ronnie Moran was the rassle-fassle, walking around shaking his head, no matter how much you won. We won the FA Cup in 1992. He come into the showers when we were all in the bath, spraying champagne everywhere, jumping up and down, and he went, shh, listen, July the 6th, don't be late. We're back training. Didn't say well done for winning the FA Cup. He said, hey, we're Liverpool. We're supposed to win the FA Cup. And he was a bit like, everything was like... Anyway, I bought a car when I signed for Liverpool. I paid too much for this car. It was a 500 SL Mercedes, 2 flash, but I bought it cheap. And I used to drive past this hotel every day. I used to go through the tunnel, and I was scared to death of Ronnie. So I thought, I can't show him my car. He's going to think I'm a big time Charlie. So I used to drive down past Anfield and turn right. And one of the people who owned the house there, one of the lads, park on my drive. I got him a ticket every week. So I used to park on his drive and walk up so nobody could see my car. And one day I was late, fog in the tunnel. I come through, drove into Anfield quick. I thought I'm going to be late because Ronnie's like that. If you're late, you're fine. And I drove in and I parked my car and I run in quick. And I got changed. And as I'm getting changed, he comes in the dressing room. Whose is the flash Mercedes out there in the car park, the blue one? And Steve Nicol goes, it's Dean's. It's Dean's. And then he goes, there you go. Roy, I told you it'd be his. I told you, didn't I? Graeme, I told you that car was his. The flash. Hey, who do you think you are? Hey, we've had better players than you here, son. Who do you think you are? And by the way, your wheel is on the white line and the bloke next to you can't park his car. It's selfish. It's selfish. Get your keys and go and straighten your car up because he can't get out of his car next to you. So that selfishness, you'll take it on the pitch with you. You'll take it on the pitch. Roy, I told you it was his, didn't I? Honest to God, unbelievable. Walks out shaking his head. He's laughing because you can imagine.
I know.
I walked out and felt like, what have I done?
It's class.
Imagine Marcus Rashford's going to Old Trafford in a 700 grand Rolls Royce. Imagine Ronnie Moran.
So Dean, you top scored with 23 goals, I think it was, in 91-92. You win the FA Cup. Yeah, September of the following season, you're on your way again. What were the circumstances around that? Souness said, is that right? He said he needed money to be able to buy a defender.
Yeah, one day he called me in, and as you said, I got 23 goals the season before, and we won the FA Cup. And then he called me in and said, "This is how he went about it." He went, "Listen, Ron Atkinson's been on the phone. He's asked us about a few of our players, and he mentioned your name." And I went, "Yeah, so what?" He went, "Well, I'm not saying, you can leave. Like I want you to leave. But he mentioned a few of our players, and he said he'd be interested in signing you. But I'm just wondering, what do you think? I went, what are you trying to say? And he went, no, I'm not. I'm saying. I said, no, are you prepared to let me go? Is that what you're saying? And he went, no. I said, I don't need to go, but if you want to go. And I went to him, listen, I'm just telling you now, in that dressing room, I'm on your side. There's not many on your side. I'm on your side. So you're making a massive mistake. But if you're prepared to let me go, I might as well leave, because my days are numbered. So the next day, I thought, I played against Chelsea. I scored. We won 1-0. Sunday morning, Ron rings me. I'm thinking, he won't ring now. After I said that to Graeme, he'll go, right, forget that. Ron rings me. Do you want to come and play for me? Like what? Like, it's hilarious. What? He's hilarious. He's gone on the pitch the day before and announced he's signing me. So he's got one of the funniest sights I've ever seen in football. We were doing a 12-minute run in pre-season around Bodymore Heath, the training ground, and Ron was on a deck chair with his shorts rolled up. He looks like John Candy. He's got a Dorito tan, permanent tan, and he's got an ice cream with a flake in it and a stopwatch. And he's going, come on, you're behind the clock.
12-minute run.
A 12-minute run, like you're dying. And he's like, yeah, he's going like, do that. Anyway, yeah. So I signed. When the manager was prepared to let me go, I thought, what have you done? Anyway, I said, you're making a mistake. So I went to Villa, and then a clause in my contract, I could leave for 1.5 million, and he was manager of Galatasaray. He come in and signed me. And I got a phone call from Stephen Howard from The Sun when I left Liverpool. And he said, do you want to hammer Graeme Souness? I'll give you 10 grand. And I said, no. And Stephen Howard rung him and said, I've just rung Dean to hammer you. And he said, no. And Graeme remembered it. So when I was in Turkey, one day we went for a meal, and Karen, Graeme's wife, was sitting at the table. And she went, do you know when you left Liverpool, Graeme knew that Stephen Howard had rung you? And do you know when you scored 2 against Liverpool for Villa in your first game? He was crying on the motorway. He was arranging to go for a meal with Ron Atkinson, but he got in a car, and on the way up the motorway, he started crying, saying, I knew I'd messed up. He said he would never tell you that, but I'm telling you. So Karen told me, right? So he said, and the reason he's re-signed you is because he trusts you, because you never. Anyway, he signed me 5 times after. So, so it's the best decision, the best. Talk about 10 grand I've ever spent. Yeah, but he's a great bloke. Great. I mean, he's a great bloke. See he swum the channel the other day. He's got a heart. He's had a heart bypass.
Did he?
Yeah,
that's twice, isn't it?
Yeah, twice. Like,
takes some doing.
And
he's down in Bournemouth, isn't he? He lives in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
They're down that way.
He won the Turkish Cup together, didn't he? Which was that famous moment when
he stuck
Graeme stuck the flag in Fenerbahce's pitch, and then he caused a riot, didn't he?
Well, we beat him 1-0 at home. I scored a penalty, and the keeper dived over it. You know when it goes under the keeper's body? I was like, no, I scored. Because there's in the Ali Sami Yen Stadium, there's like 40,000 crammed in. They're angry.
It's something else, and I've been playing Turkey for the Republic, and I tell you what, wow, it's absolutely bonkers, isn't it?
Well, the final was 2 legs, so we had to play them at Fenerbahce, which is in Asia. Believe it or not, Galatasaray's in Europe. Yeah. You have to go over a bridge and you're in Asia. And they had 60,000 there, like watching the game. They beat us 1-0, it went to extra time. I scored in extra time, right before the end of extra time. Oh. And there was no time hardly to kick off. And we had a few fans there, not many, because they were scared.
Yeah.
And the whistle went, and someone chucked a flag over, a big flag. And he got the flag and he tried to stick it in the centre circle. And then he ran past me on the way off. And I went, all the best. and this fan jumped over to get him. And Graeme's gone like that. He's unconscious before he's hit the floor. right? Graham's knocked him out, this fan. And you know them Turkish police with the guards? You know them Turkish? They must have been all Galatasaray fans. They're all booting this fella. How dare you? He broke his wrist, Graeme. When he hit the fella, he broke his wrist. He said, how dare you break Souness's wrist with your chin? So he's gone in the dressing room, Graeme. We've all celebrating. Afterwards, we won the cup. Spraying champagne everywhere. Graham's got his hand in an ice bucket. He's broke his wrist, right? So the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life, my dad used to come and watch me play everywhere, and he'd get in anywhere. So say we played Watford away, he'd find a ticket. I don't know where the tickets had been left, and he'd get in somehow. Yeah. I'm looking round in the dressing room, Istanbul Cup final. My dad and mum are in the dressing room. I went, I couldn't believe it. What are you doing here?
After the game?
No, after the game, my dad got in the dressing room, and I was going like, I've seen him get in anywhere, but getting in our dressing room, Galatasaray, I'm with my mum, and what had happened? The fans had gone berserk, haven't they? So they looked at the director's box and they've gone, right, let's get them. So they've took all Galatasaray and put it. The only safe place was the dressing room. So they come in. There was loads of people in the dressing room because the police were outside. But it was an experience. My son was born out there. He's 29 now. 29 years ago.
So is he actually Turkish then?
Well, he played for Wales under 21s. If you play for Turkey, you got to do national service. 6 months.
Better not.
So I can't get him to make his bed.
And Dean, just touching the last bit about your playing career, it's about your Welsh career. Obviously, 75 caps, 22 goals. What's the fondest memory of that? Obviously, scoring a winner against Brazil in Cardiff sounds a contender at least. But what's your fondest memory of your playing career for Wales?
Well, people won't believe this, but John will understand. When I scored the winner, Gary Speed, Taffarel, I think, was in goals. Gary Speed jumped into him from across and the ball dropped. And because I follow in all my life, I got a tap in. Against Brazil, we won 1-0. And at the time, it was just another goal. I didn't even think about it.
Cardiff?
Yeah. I didn't even think about it. Until afterwards, when I finished playing, and everybody keeps like you, keep bringing it up and going, you scored the winner against Brazil. I didn't realise at the time. It was just...
It's mega.
It was just another goal.
Do you know what? We beat Brazil late 80s in a friendly at Lansdowne Road, 1-0. It's a really good game. We played well enough to win it. And I remember that because Brazil is always, for me, it's iconic. The iconic international team for Brazil. And to beat them 1-0, but to win 1-0 and score...
Well, I mean...
That's all, that's a bit...
Do you know what?
But was that your favourite moment, Dean, or something else?
Well, if I've got one regret in my career, because after having my knee and being released at Swansea, every game was like a bonus. Like I just, wherever I went, I thought, I can't believe I'm still playing football. So my only regret is that I never played in a World Cup. I mean, I remember John in America when he's arguing with the linesman.
Oh yeah, we all do.
Do you know what? That's funny. You need to watch it again, right? Because not only is he arguing with the linesman and Jack Charlton, Steve Staunton comes into the picture and he's ginger.
He's fucking
and he's white. And he's like a tomato. And I was playing with four of them at Villa: Paul McGrath, Andy Townsend, Ray Houghton, and Stan Staunton, right? Who's a great player, by the way, great left forward. And I said, how is he going to manage out there in America? Like, it's like going to Disney World and playing football. You know, in Disney World, it's like roasting. And he come and he's got a hat on. And I was watching for him when you were arguing, and he come and look at Stan. He's like a blood orange. Yeah,
he's like a turkey cock. He's red raw. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, but we never qualified for. To answer your question, I never qualified and played in the World Cup like he did. I would like to have done that, and had the group stages and all that. But and then the Champions League, we got banned, didn't we, from Europe? Yeah. So I missed a few Champions League years because we were banned, and then it was 3 foreign players. You're only allowed 3 foreign players in your team. So at Liverpool, we had Grobbler, Steve Nicol, Jan Molby, Ian Rush, me. You know, we had loads of Glenn Hussein. So I can't. That's the only thing I can say I'm disappointed with, that I never played in a World Cup. But apart from that, I managed for 16 years after I finished at 37, and I'm on TalkSport now, still earning money from talking about football. So football's been a big part of my life, and I owe everything to football I've got, really.
Good on you.
Well, that's the end of part 2, and we'll be back with you very,
How
very
many
shortly.
parts are there then?
5.
This is it.
Let me tell you the story of a poor boy. He was sent far away from his home to fight for his king and his country, and also the old folks back home. So they put him in a Highland division.
So welcome back to part 3, final part of the show, which has been brilliant again.
And we just want to focus on Dean's coaching career.
Yeah, the coaching
basically.
career.
So, how did you slip into coaching then? What convinced you that that's the way you want to go?
Well, yeah, I was playing at Bradford in the Premier League when I was 37, I think. And Graeme, I was going to go and sign for Crystal Palace, and Graeme rang me at Blackburn and said, "Do you want to come and be assistant manager at Blackburn?" So I thought to myself, I can play on for another year, and I might not get another opportunity to go straight in the Premier League as coaching. So I went, right, I'll come. So I went to Blackburn as assistant.
Just briefly, what did that entail, Dean? Because these days there's that many assistant managers focusing on different things.
I was striker coach, more or less, and I used to take, so the reserve team as well, the young lads, we had a really good team. If I named the squad, you'd know them all at Blackburn. We had a real good group coming through. And then I was taking Andy Cole, Dwight York, Matt Jansen. You know, we had Shefty Kuusysi, who was like,
good players.
we had players. So I was doing that, and I was taking some sessions. And then we went to Newcastle, where, I mean, the squad we had at Newcastle was a joke. We had Steve Harper, Shea Given, Babby Arrow, Oliver Bernard, Stephen Carr right back, Andy O'Brien, Titus Bramble, Kieran Dyer, Jermaine Janus, Lee Boyer, Nicky Butt, Emery, Solano, Robert, James Milner, Darren Ambrose, and up front, Shearer, Owen, Bellamy, Patrick Kluivert, Shola, Amiobi, and Chopra. How we never won anything with that group of players. It must be our fault. So we had that team. So I was coaching them, and then John Toshak asked me to go as assistant manager of Wales.
What an honour.
And then, and believe it or not, I applied for managers' jobs, probably 20.
Yeah.
And I'd done my coaching badge 7 years, and I got one reply from Norwich saying, "Thanks very much."
I mean, that's something that
Do you know,
Robbie Fowler has spoken about as
absolutely,
well.
there's an awful lot, and that is so bad.
Bear in mind, I thought I'd get a job. I thought I would get a job.
So bad,
I mean, we'll come to Wrexham in just 1 second, but that's an industry problem. And maybe people think because you're famous footballers, ex-footballers, it wouldn't happen to you. But if you apply for 20 jobs, you might get 0 responses, 1 response, even if it's people saying thanks but no thanks. But it's just, you would have thought it's professional courtesy at least.
That's shite. It's so disappointing from anyone who gets a letter from, you know, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have done what Dino's done or what Robbie's done. Just out of courtesy.
Yeah,
just
I
a
agree.
little phone call. Thank you for your interest.
And it's a small word as well, right?
Shite. Honestly, just...
It's who you know.
But Dean, just
what you know.
let's touch on Wrexham briefly. So that's your
Well, I was
first...
going to say, I got the Wrexham job
You
eventually.
did. There you go. Let's touch on it. 2008.
Yeah, and I mean, I loved it. I had 3 years there, and eventually, I think we got 100 points, and I think something like that. I don't know how many we got. It was near 100 points, and Vardy was playing for Fleetwood, and he got 40 odd goals, and eventually we got in the playoffs because only one team goes up.
Yeah.
So we're in the playoffs. We lost to Luton in the playoffs, and then the following year, we were 10 games in. I think we were top of the league, and Doncaster come in for me, which they do when you're winning. Teams come in for you when you're winning. So you start a project and you take all the pain at the start, and John will tell you, right at the start, you're trying to organise a club. And when you get it right, before you get to the end, clubs come in for you. And you end up walking into another mess. Because you don't very often, unless you're Arnie Slot, you don't get a job that everything's all right.
You get a job because it's upside down half the time. Isn't it?
The rusty Ford Escort you mentioned earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I went to Doncaster, done all right there. I went to Wolves then. I got the Wolves manager's job. 3.5 months, 20 games, got sacked. And then I went to Chesterfield, Crawley first as interim manager because John Gregory had a heart problem. So he went for an operation. I took over for a bit. And then I went to Chesterfield, 4.5 months, got sacked. So that's why I'm sitting here today.
But Dean, Dean, I just want to go back to Wrexham briefly and just ask you, what's your assessment of what the project, what they are doing there right now, and will they make it sooner rather than later or ever to the Premier League, you think?
Well, I always felt that I could get them into the Championship.
Yeah.
Because we get 50, I thought we get 15,000 if we go up to a couple of leagues.
Yeah.
Because it's a catchment area, obviously.
Yeah,
they sell out every
do you know
game
from
now.
Wrexham down to Cardiff, it's 3 hours, and there's not a club in between.
Yeah.
So you got 3 hours driving. That's south. North is Liverpool, Man City, but for Welsh people, the nearest club, I would say, we got Shrewsbury, Hereford, but the nearest club, then you got Newport, Cardiff, Swansea. We're on the coast, so there's a gap. And I thought, I'll see if I can get like some players out of that area as well. But when the news come that these two superstar film stars come going to buy the club, I thought it was a joke. I did. I thought. I thought this.
I think we all did, didn't we? Really?
Yeah, it's a joke. Like, and then when it happened, I thought, right, they won't last long. When they realise how much it takes, I once watched the chairman of Wrexham, Jeff, sign a cheque for 304 grand to the taxman. Got out of his own pocket. Like, and then the next day, he wrote a cheque for 24 grand for the police for doing the game. So the costs for the police to do the game, like playing Chester, Wrexham Chester, 24 grand just to have the police there. You've got to pay, the club's got to pay. So I was thinking, God, like how much money it costs to run a football club. Like it just keeps, so these people who buy football clubs, they know. They just have to keep putting money in, money. And then the two superstars took over, and I thought, anyway, they've done everything they were going to say, and the community, they've branched out that we don't know about. By the way, I know about it, but you don't know about it. What the money they put into the community, and Wrexham, which was like struggling as a town, has now become a tourist destination, and the pub, the Turf, right? You got to be brave to go in there.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's like a tourist destination.
Yeah.
So they've put the money in. They've got up, and now they're in the big league, aren't they? Where they're going to have to compete with three Premier League teams.
Tough, yeah.
3 teams have come down with budgets of 70 million quid. My budget was 750 grand when I was manager of Wrexham. The budget now is probably 15 million, 10 million. To survive. So,
but basically, if I read between the lines, you're mildly surprised in the first year or two that they actually did what they did, and by now you know they are doing the right thing. Obviously, they got the Allen family involved now to invest hundreds of millions. They bought Wrexham Lager, the local beer.
I used to love that, and they bought Wrexham Lager. That's my favourite
Which
beer,
was invented by Germans, by the way.
Was it? You have to get that in, didn't you?
Went down with the Titanic.
See, I wondered why we went on to Wrexham. There's always a method behind it.
I'm just saying.
with the Titanic.
I'm just saying. It did go down with the Titanic. You know that the only lager sold on the Titanic was Wrexham Lager.
Serious?
Yeah, it's true.
I never knew that.
Yeah, there you go. You can have that for free. So that went down with.
To be fair, we always Wrexham the best. You know, it's near where we are. It's not far from. I've done a great job, and it'd be great to see them. Difficult, you know. As Dino said, but look, you just got to stay in there and make it happen over. Not just this year, but maybe in 2-3 years' time. You know,
John, I had Paul Pogba's brother, Mateus, that got in trouble.
that's
The
a shock,
Mateus,
isn't it?
right?
Yeah.
He was playing for me, but he was only in Manchester to keep his brother company, Paul Pogba. So he played in a friendly for Bury. Alan Nill was the manager of Bury. And he said to me, I've got no money, but Paul Pogba, his brother's playing in this game today. You can have him if you want. I've got no money. So he played in the game and I signed him. Well, I said, come and play. I've got no money, but you can come and play for us. And if you do well, I'll persuade the chairman to give you a contract. So I used to give him 100 quid expenses. That was it. So imagine he's playing for Wrexham and he gets 100, no wages, 100 quid expenses.
Fifth division, right? Non-league.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
So Brian Carey, my assistant, who played for Republic of Ireland, I don't know if you played with him.
Yeah, no, Brian, yeah.
Brian used to pick him up every morning
Good lad.
and take him home to training every day. And then he started scoring. So he scored a few goals. And Geraint, so I'm really pleased for all the people who used to work there. Charlie, the groundsman, and Kevin had no mowers. The mowers didn't work. They've now got like the best. It's like Augusta. When you turn up, they're all in. So once Geraint, the secretary, right, who's been there, a Wrexham fan all his life, I went up to him once and said, Geraint, he sold the programmes and he used to have cash in one of them little bags, you know, like Blackadder.
Put a lassie band around it as well.
I went, Geraint, have you got 100 quid in that bag? So I can give it to Pogba for his expenses. And he went, yeah, I have, Dean. So he counted out, you know, the coins, £1 coins, he counted them out. And I give Mateus Pogba 100 quid out of the programme money.
Pound coins.
That's how low we were as a club. And now they're up there, aren't they? They're up there. Shows you, doesn't it? It's great hope for all the clubs like Tranmere.
But it does go back. Maybe Tranmere might get sold by something very similar, please God, down the line. But it gives other towns, little communities hope that you can thrive, prosper, and maybe get there. I really do hope that Wrexham get there.
Yeah, me too.
But the one thing I'll ask you now, mate, 5-a-side team. You got to name a 5-a-side team now. But before we go on to James's famous quiz that we've got afterwards, but you've got to give us
5-a-side team.
Who you played with.
Yeah. Well, me and you on, innit?
I know that.
If the pitch is too small for us.
Good shout.
Grass. And by the way,
we sing off the same song sheet us, by the way.
So I was last pick.
Great shout there.
I was last pick every week. Whatever club.
So was
and you
I.
were last pick. And I used to say, unfortunately, lads, there's no 5-a-side league where you can earn any money. We play on a big pitch where I earn millions.
It's true that. I didn't like. You learn from the little spaces in 5-a-side, but the big pitch, that's where the space was. You thrive off space.
Well, that's real. Yeah.
Go on,
So
Dwight, team.
Before we go on to it, quickly, Dwight York, I signed for Villa. And Dwight York, I walk in the dressing room and Dwight York he's only young, he gets in an Addis bin. You know the Addis bins, the plastic bins made by Addis. He gets in the bin and he goes, how much will you give me if I keep the ball up on my head 100 times? I went, I'll give you 20 quid. 100 times in the bin. He went, yeah. So he gets the ball and he's like this. Right? And he gets to 98 and he goes, and then puts it on the top of his head. Right? And he does the 100 and gets out and everyone's high-fiving him in the dressing room. All the lads are going, woo, woo, woo. And then he chucks the ball to me and he goes, go on, show us what you got. I said, I've only got one trick. 20 goals a season, 10 years running. How's that for a trick? Unfortunately, we didn't practice that. I used to practice my shooting.
I done quickly before. I done the same with me and Paul Walsh went on the pitch to do it. It was with Nike, do a little bit of a thing for Nike at Anfield. And then going on the pitch, photographer doing all that, and Walsh has got the ball, and Walsh is brilliant. He's doing his kick me ups. No, that one where you go like that, you flick it up and put the gets round. He's doing it all that, and I'm going, fucking hell, brilliant, mate. Then he went to me, give it to me, and I just went like that. Fuck off! And I hit to the top and into the Anfield road and net. I said, that's all I can do.
Anyway,
Right,
5-a-side team.
mate.
So the 5-a-side team, the best 5-a-side players. So number one.
It's got to be like, defenders, and you can't just put all forwards.
Right, I'm gonna start with Jan Mulby.
Yeah.
middle of midfield with Mike Marsh.
Oh, nice.
Mike Marsh was an unbelievable
great football.
1-2 touch, like small pitch.
Yeah.
Brilliant. John Barnes, who's the best player
Can't
I've
get
ever
a
played
ball
with.
off him, yeah.
John Barnes, exactly what I say. People say to me, I played with Ryan Giggs all my life, as were Wales. Both left wingers. John Barnes, freak of nature. There's freak footballers, you couldn't get the ball off him. The number of times I used to watch him and go, how's he got out of that? John Barnes, so there's 3. I'll go centre back, 5, innit?
Yeah.
Normally in a 5-a-side team.
Yeah.
No
I've
keeper.
got high hopes for the quiz.
Have we got a keeper? Have we got a keeper?
Get him keeper.
One of them's a keeper, not
Yeah.
5 outplayed. Like
Oh, you got to go
6
never,
side.
haven't you?
No, yeah, so I'm going to go in goals.
Oh,
No, I'm going to
Bruce.
go Bruce Grobbler
Because he can play out, can't
because
he?
he can play out and join in.
Yeah.
And I would go Paul McGrath.
Okay.
So Paul McGrath, Mike Marsh, Jan
Yeah,
Malby,
and Barnes.
John Barnes, Grobbler in goals, who's like an outfield player.
Yeah.
So Barnes, you'd be a centre forward?
Yeah.
Oh.
Barnes up front, floating,
Okay.
not trying, not running back, just floating around because he's a genius. And then the rest.
Well, while you're talking about geniuses, now we're going to test you.
Your genius.
And it's famous, this.
Is that?
James is famous. 6 questions. Reason being, 6 times.
But I got it.
Liverpool's won it.
As long as I finish above
Do you know
Steve
that
Nicol.
big? Do you know that? Do you know that big?
You're already
football
above it.
cup. That one there.
Yeah.
6 big uns then. 6. Anyway, and that's the reason why we have 6 questions, mate.
Right, go on.
So the rest is up to you, James.
Right, number 1. Who did you make your Liverpool debut against in August 1991?
That's a shit question, James.
Well, he doesn't seem to
We
be
can't
older.
remember that.
Correct.
That's correct.
At home. Do you know what?
You're just trying to settle him in that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Quickly.
You've gone above Steve
I
Nicol.
remember reading the programme. This is relevant. I remember reading the programme, sitting in the dressing room, my debut, shitting myself. It's my debut. And it had the previous 10 years finishing positions. The league, Liverpool, previous 10 years. I went first, second, first, second, first. 10 years. The lowest they finished was second. I honestly thought, we've got to win today. First game of the season, got to win. Pressure's on.
What score was it?
I think we beat them. I didn't score. I didn't score for 4 games. I had like a detached house on my back.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking, I paid all this money for me and I've not scored. Anyway, go
Right,
on.
number 2.
Number 2.
2 other new signings made their debuts in the same game. Can you name them?
Mark Walters and Mark Wright.
Correct.
Yeah, 2 out of 2. Well done,
Take
mate.
that.
Number 3. Your first Liverpool goal proved to be the winner. Who was it against?
Spurs.
Oh!
Wrong. QPR.
Was it?
Oh, fucking hell, dear.
Number 4.
Left foot top corner.
This is a bit tricky.
It's London.
So you top scored with 23 goals in all comps in 91-92. Which midfielder was the club's second
Wow.
top scorer that season with 12?
That's nuts, that. Wow.
So I'm trying to think, right? You got Ronnie Whelan, Steve McMahon, Jan Malby, Jamie Redknapp, Don Hutchinson.
It's none of that.
I've got it. He's not a midfield player though. It's Ray Houghton.
It is Ray Houghton.
He's a winger. He's a right winger.
He was more.
Ask him.
Midfield, though.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got it.
Right wing.
Right mid.
It's semantics.
Right wing.
It's semantics.
It's 3 out of 4. It's 3 out of 4.
it's not
It's 4-2-4. We'll give
Yeah.
that
4-2-4. Ray's on the right.
Okay. Right sided midfielder.
Guys,
Right winger.
it's
Right,
semantics.
number 5. Who did you score your final Liverpool goal against in September
Chelsea at
92?
home. Header glancing
Correct.
near post.
Bang.
And finally, number 6. Who scored more goals for Liverpool in total?
Oh.
You or Raheem Sterling?
Oh my God! Please tell me it's me or I'm retiring from football.
It was you.
Yeah,
Thanks very much.
I actually thought
You got
Sterling
2 more
scored
than him.
more than that. Yeah.
Not bad.
So
5 out of 6.
we got 5. Well done, mate.
Well done.
Fucking well done, pal.
I beat Steve Nichols.
by
Country man.
5.
Yeah, but you haven't drank as many pints as him, so you lost that one. But there's still an hour to go in a minute.
That's John's game, that. John.
It's been brilliant. Great to see me on, mate, Dino. It's been a great hour or two, whatever. Great to see you, mate.